Hi, this is Erin again. And during this particular clip, I want to talk about some of the different types of consensual non-monogamy. The most popular one that we hear, or we hear people use the term ethical or consensual non-monogamy. Actually, those two terms are interchangeable. We hear people saying open relationships. Open relationships are one type of consensual non-monogamy. And we also hear about polyamorous relationships. So the difference between those two, open relationships, that means that the individuals have agreed to have sexual contact with other people, but they are in a committed relationship. You have the polyamorous relationships where there may be sexual contact with other people. There also can be romantic attachments to others in other with other individuals, but you do have your primary relationship. There's swinging. That's one that we probably hear about more often than the others. Swinging is when you have couples who are in romantic relationships or committed relationships, and they get involved with other couples who and they exchange partners. And that's we see some of that like on some of the TV shows, some of the yeah, we see that in some of the on some of the TV programming and so forth. And then we have monogamish, and that's where a couple is almost completely monogamous, and every once in a while they want to engage in some sort of non-monogamous behavior. Like I mentioned in the other video, for example, if they want to go out together and one watches the other one flirt with someone else, but neither one of them goes home with a stranger. There's also the monogamous couples who maybe on holidays they'll go out to a swingers club and engage in sexual contact with a couple. And so that's monogamish. One of the reasons that I wanted to speak more about this is because people often believe, as I mentioned in the other video, that when you are not being when you're not connected or just being sexual with one person, that it's cheating or it's being unfaithful. And that's not true because, as I mentioned before, when you are in these types of relationships, communication is a foundation. Open, honest communication is a foundation. So there are no secrets. And that's why these relationships are pretty successful. Everybody's getting what they want, and there's a lot of open, honest communication. With infidelity, there isn't open communication, there isn't honesty, there's lots of different types of deception, lots of cognitive distortions that are going on that allow the individuals to engage in the behavior that is a betrayal to the partner. Now, infidelity can happen in consensual non-monogamous relationships, and it's addressed just as it would be addressed as infidelity would be addressed with a monogamous couple. Infidelity is infidelity, and dishonesty is dishonesty. So in the next video clip, I will expand a little bit more on consensual non-monogamy. And if you have any questions about this particular video clip, you can shoot me an email. It's Erin, Erin, at brighterfutureea.com.